Thank you for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to thank you for watching. In this episode, we shall be diving deep into the rehabilitation that the country of France is experiencing at the moment with regards to its African policy. In this episode, I will be able to explore like never before seen. I will look into specifics, geopolitical concern, and the reason why Africa has abandoned France. So without any more delay, let's just dive straight into it. In 2022, Africa turned its back on France. African countries have cut long-standing ties with Paris, turning instead towards the British-led Commonwealth. Local population held protests, demanding departure of France troops and clamor for Russian Wagner command instead. In parallel, other world powers are attempting to increase their influence on the African continent. Turkey is mobilizing to carry out an infrastructural work at very competitive prices. Turkish companies built the new airport in Dakar. China is investing in most African countries via financial institutions created for these purposes. In particular, the Exim Bank and also the China Development Bank, Brazil, India, and also Pakistan are also trying to develop closer economic ties with the continent of Africa. Looking ahead, if you consider the crucial mistakes that the country of France has made in Africa, France has lost the privileged relationship it had 30 years ago. This is as a result of movement and also trade liberalization, but also the outcome of clumsiness and the serious mistake on the part of the French authorities. For example, ex-president Nicolas Sarkozy's disastrous 2007 speech in which he declared that the African has not fully entered into history. Moving forward, more recently, President Emmanuel Macron was reduced to discussing the future of African with the Association of Students in Montpellier instead of doing so with African heads of state. For a long time, the African-France Summit was the traditional platform where all the presidents of French-speaking Africa met with the French president, where relationships were forged among the participants, where burning issues could be discussed and also solutions found. Gone are those privileged meetings. Even countries where France is still considered as an ally are beginning to have doubts in regards to this particular relationship. A serious mistake was made during the 2011 Arab Spring with the intervention in Libya organized by the former French president Sarkozy against the advice of the African presidents and also African leaders, which led to the overthrow and the death of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. The upheaval caused total anarchy in Libya. Armed Turk soldiers who actually had been mobilized by Gaddafi returned to the Sahel region to join the jihadist or rebel movement at the time. It was also a mistake to have allowed a former foreign minister of Rwanda, Louis Mushikiwabo, to be appointed Secretary General of the International Organization of the Francophonie, known as the OIF. Rwanda has renounced French as the first language, has joined the Commonwealth, and has been conducting a relentless propaganda campaign against the French army for more than 20 years. Moving ahead, unfortunately, this succession of errors has gradually created a climate of mistrust and even violent rapturousness between France and the French-speaking African countries. The Central African Republic, the CAR, and Mali have requested the departure of French ambassadors and also French troops. Troops that had been called in to help and who fought and died to contain the jihadist threat. Bangui and Bamako turned to Russia, welcoming Wagner commandos on their territory. They now provide security for government authorities, certain localities or provinces as well, and are paid through the exploitation of mines, notably gold in Mali and diamond and uranium in the Central African Republic. If you are new to this channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos with your different network. We have made lots of videos on this particular channel. If you are new here, we encourage you to check the entire channel for you to see more exciting and educating content regards the global African perspective. Without any more delay, let's just dive straight into it. If you consider the high stakes of things the way it is in the African continent with regards to geopolitics at the moment, even countries where France is still considered an ally are beginning to doubt the relationship. Togo and Gabon joined the Commonwealth last July. Niger and Chad are paying a high price for the implosions of Libya. Libyan militias are also armed gangs are pouring into their territory and destabilizing local politics. Wars a few years ago, allies such as the United Kingdom and the United States intervened in the French-speaking world, often after consultation with Paris. Since the war in Rwanda and the violent troubles in Kivu, a rich province of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the DRC, a gap has been widening between France and the Anglo-Saxon countries. Washington and London still implied that France was complicit in the monstrous of genocides in Rwanda. Today, some voices are being raised in France to try to shed light on this particular region of the world where a war is being fought over the exploitation of crucial raw materials like coltan and cobalt. Human beings, especially women and children, will full impunity to have greatest benefit to the Anglo-American, Canadian and South African financial and mining companies. If you look at this particular episode, considering the strategic relationship and geopolitics with regards to France's presence in the continent of Africa, it is urgent that France redeem or redefine its African policy at the moment. The economic stakes are high. These metals are necessary to produce semiconductors, cell phones and communication networks, as well as military systems and missiles. This is also a vital issue that the United States, which has long been closely linked to the Rwanda and Uganda government, became directly involved to point out the concluding during the First Kivu War, the secret agreement of the Lomé, which Congolese rebels. This was later revealed by President Laurent Kabila himself and facilitated the creation of an American Rwandan company for the purpose of regulating or even controlling the trade in rare metals. If you look at the different approaches that are particularly with regards to France's operation in the region and looking at the backlash that France is experiencing in the continent of Africa, it is urgent that France redefine its African policy. No doubt, the friendship and the ties that Paris has built over time with Africa, with its political, economic and also thought leaders, just doing so, and at the moment justify doing everything possible to build new cooperation in all sectors, culture and education, and also health and pharmaceutical, energy and mining, agriculture and food industry, transportation and also infrastructure, you name the rest. Moving forward, this new policy must not allow itself to be guided and stifled by Brussels' technocratic approach. France must reinvent itself in the international organization in different ways in dealing with Africa and help the organizations coordinate all cultural and educational interventions in French-speaking world. This requires a political approach after having determined the goals to be pursued. Universities, education, books, policies, support for the film industry, social networks, under no circumstances should be something that should be reviewed, be reduced to a bureaucratic body or worsened to a Trojan horse. Government should commit to the handling of the OIF matter at the ministerial level, and the organization council ought to be composed of the president or head of government instead of administrative parts only. France must have courage to address the issues of immigration with all French-speaking countries of Africa. It must have privileged relations with those countries which will result in a visa policy welcoming migrants from Africa for specific purposes like training and employment. France's African policy must once again become rooted in the cultural influence, loyalty and first and foremost shared history. If you consider the impact that France is facing in Africa at the moment, Germany and the Netherlands are overtaking France with regards to economic transformation and doing business in the continent. France has had its own backlash at the moment. We all are looking to see how France is going to revamp itself and looking at Africa, if it's a place where France is going to be welcomed again with regards to its current francophone policy in the region. We want to thank you for watching The Explorer. We are looking forward to meeting you soon. If you are new to this channel and you're coming from one of those African nations that France has an impact in your region, we would like to hear from you. Feel free to leave us a comment and share this video with your different network, and also make sure you check on some of our informative videos on this YouTube channel. We are looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye bye.